Jarmika Reese, Matt Horn, Reggie Minton, Charlie Nelson, and Mike Freeman for the Falcons. David Gibson controls the opening tip. Any guess? We won't make you guess. We'll ask you what the heck defense is it that the Falcons are running?
They're in a zone right now, a matchup zone, starting out kind of could be a 3-2 it looks like right now.
Okay. Charles Spider-Smith slicing and dicing to the hole. Remember, he had the first 8 points of the game for the Lobos at Fresno State on Tuesday. New Mexico takes an early 2-0 lead.
I think he got tired from having to chase Brooks around all night.
Kendrick Brooks, 32 points to lead the way for the Bulldogs. That's a look at Reggie Minton. Jarmika Reese with it. Here's a shooter, Matt Horn. Inside they'll go, and that's my man, Charles Nelson, who puts it in. And we're tied at 2-all.
Typical Air Force team, Mike. Very crisp passes, and they'll show some patience. You have to work the full time on defense.
Kenny Thomas dribbles once, gets rid of it. There's Smith. So Air Force remaining in that zone. Kenny Thomas down low, off the mark. Tip up no good by Sean Simpson. Falcons push it out quickly. Horn pulls up. Fight for the rebound, controlled by Smith. And boy, I'll tell you, David Gibson, every time he hustles down, just grimacing in pain. The tendonitis in his knee is as bad as it's ever been. John Simpson now double teamed, lost it, and they'll say he walked with it. Turnover to New Mexico.
But when Sean catches the ball inside, he needs to look to go with it. I mean, one dribble is basically his max, and if he wants to be able, his teammates to continue to have confidence in him, he needs to move quick.
You played in this game, Nelson, a number of times. How difficult is it to get up for it when you're expected to blow out Air Force?
It's very difficult, and I mean, an Air Force actually plays to that. I mean, it helps their players whenever you come in here, and you come in here a little lackadaisical.
Horn out top, going inside to Freeman. Barely got it back to Nelson, and he scores, and Air Force leads by 2.
You come in here lots of times and you think, well, we've got better athletes. All we have to do is go through the motions. That's not true. When you have the better athletes, you have to take advantage of that. Offensive rebounds, get some steals.
Clayton Shields off the mark. Smith inside, can't control it. Here comes a Falcon break. Reese. And it's blocked, but a foul on David Gibson. And the Lobos started out a bit sluggish.
Yeah.
New Mexico foul on number 32.
This is one of the things, I mean, this shows you that New Mexico cannot just lay back. I mean, Air Force, they'll take advantage of situations. There you had a good 2-on-1 fast break, and they will push it up.
First personal foul on David Gibson. Of course, he was charged with that controversial foul at the end of the game at Fresno State on Tuesday evening. Reese misses the first one, a 72% free throw shooter.
David didn't get a good night's sleep that night either.
He did not. Dominic Young, the man who made the 2 winning free throws for Fresno State, continually called Gibson at the hotel, according to David, to kind of rub it in. And that's not a smart thing to do when there's a rematch looming down the line. Not a very classy thing to do either, obviously. Spider-Smith back out to Kenny Thomas. Double team, working it around the horn. Three-pointer Smith. That'll be short. Rebound by Nelson. And we're going to have a whistle, a kick, and they'll reset the clock.
I mean, Nelson is doing a good job of keeping Kenny Thomas off the glass. And the 2 touches Kenny's gotten are not on the block. It's about 6-8 feet away, and obviously Kenny's not as effective when he's that far away.
Ball is loose, outlet, sort of, to Smith. Here he goes. And Simpson dunks it. That's the first dunk in 2 games for the Lobos. And New Mexico trails it by 1. It's Jarmika Reese from Las Vegas with it. To Freeman. Very patient as usual. Reese pushing his way inside, pulls up, too strong. Kenny Thomas, who had 9 boards the other night, gets his initial rebound. Looking for help to Gibson. I don't know if we've seen Kenny Thomas with it from that far out before. Shields inside, tries to push it up, cannot get the roll. Air Force has really decided to work it when they have the opportunity, bring it down in a controlled break.
They also probably know that New Mexico a little tired from the tough game they played in Fresno, and with the injuries, especially David's knee.
Reggie Minton out front. He'll give it up to Nelson. Too strong there, and here's Smith. And Smith loses control of it. Reese taps it away. Oh, good look from Minton. The blown bunny inside by Freeman, but he gets his own rebound, and it's 7-4 Falcons.
Cost Minton the assist, but tell you, Air Force, they're going on the offensive glass and stuff. New Mexico need to get a wake-up call early. You don't want to wait until 3 or 4 minutes in a game, because that's what Air Force wants.
Just 4 points for the visiting team from New Mexico. Kenny Thomas now, one-handed, well short, thought he was fouled. And grimacing a little bit as he goes back. Way outside, that's Horn.
I think he can have that shot all night if he wants it.
Like to call that Greg Brown range.
Or Clayton Shields range, you know, since the New Mexico State shot.
Yeah, that's right. Bustling inside and scoring, Kenny Thomas, his first bucket, and he'll go to the line.
That was a strong move that time. Kenny caught it, turned quickly, but one of the key things is, look how close Kenny is when he catches the ball. See, he's on the block to start with. That way when he goes up there, he's, you know, a foot away from the bucket as opposed to having to shoot a 4 or 5 footer.
That's Anthony Barrett. Okay, tell people who may not know what the block is. We use that term all the time.
Well, we use the block. It's the it's basically the rectangle shape blue block on both ends, closest to the goal.
And Thomas hits his first free throw since before the Fresno State game. 14:57 to go, and the Lobos have tied it up at 7-all. Welcome back to the Air Force Academy. The Lobos have tied up the Falcons 7-all, and here's one of the reasons why.
Watch Spider, Mike. He avoids the charge, jumping around Minton, lays it off to Simpson. That's a good job. It was set up, a good defense at the other end.
As I mentioned, that was the first dunk. Lobos did not get any at Fresno State. And then that Kenny Thomas free throw was his first attempt of the WAC season. Again, he didn't go to the line at all against the Bulldogs. Barrett driving in. Reese, baseline jumper. That's in and out. Sean Simpson with the rebound. And Daniel Santiago was in, giving Kenny Thomas a breather, along with Royce Olney in. Santiago wants it. Double team. Back to Shields. Another three-point try. This one is good.
Lobos didn't do as good a job of hitting those shots against Fresno State. Second half, they got a few good in and outs when they were doubling, triple teaming Kenny. Then they missed the shots.
Lobos have regained the lead, up 10-7. Reggie Minton, who it seems hasn't hit a field goal since he hit the three-pointer to beat the Lobos last year. He's been mired in a terrible slump this year, shooting only 26%. Santiago again, they'll double down. Gibson off the front of the rim, tip up by Clayton Shields. I don't know why my mind went blank. Is no good. Reese spinning in, looking for help. Like he moved the pivot foot. That's what Bliss wanted. Jump shot in the corner is no good that time. And the outlet, or rather the pass is saved to Lewis Stewart, who just checked in. Nelson turnaround, and again in and out, and again the Falcons keeping it alive.
The other thing, Reese was in the lane about 4 or 5 seconds.
Gibson slicing inside. The left-handed shot is good. And again, he grimaces and looks back down court.
He's actually even hopping on one leg as he got back down.
For New Mexico, Thomas, Smith, Shields, Gibson, and Simpson have scored so far. Inside contact, and they'll count it. Barrett with the hoop and Simpson with the foul.
It was a good dish that time and a nice slash to the bucket by Barrett.
His first, team second.
Greg Schornstein checks in for the first time. You see Charles Smith in the lineup returning. And I'm wondering how long David Gibson's going to be able to go tonight, because he is really having trouble.
You know, it's my understanding, Mike, that it's one of those injuries that it's not getting worse in terms of where he won't be able to get healed from, but it's just how much pain he'll be able to play with.
Barrett completes the three-point play. It's 12-10 now New Mexico. Barrett, a senior from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. There's a look at Royce Olney, a sophomore from TRC, and his worst shooting game of the season at Fresno State. See if he can get untracked. Good look inside. Schornstein, one-handed, no good. Santiago with the tip, no. Here comes Horn. Hawkins can attempt to work it around. Back to Minton. Shot clock at 18. New Mexico 10-1, 0-1 in the Western Athletic Conference. Air Force is 4-6 and 0-1, and Barrett again, well short. Minton is underneath. Shot clock down to 7. Let's see if the Falcons are aware of it. Minton is. Tipped back out. Another offensive board for Air Force.
Coaches do not like to see that. They want their players on the balls of their feet and aggressive towards the ball.
Speaking of aggressive, Charles Smith can't hang on to it. Gets it back. Over to Olney, who will lay it in.
That's the second nice dish the Spider has had on the break, and that's good to see. A lot of players that are leading, a conference in scoring, and one of the top scorers, always looking to shoot it.
Well, in fact, until recently, it was Spider Smith who was the leading assist man for New Mexico. Gibson has taken over that role. Horn fakes, comes on in, one-handed off the glass. Nicely done. And Horn, that's his second, first basket, second point of the night.
That was not an easy shot. It was not. Air Force, they didn't stay in that zone long.
Smith tries the three-pointer and gets it. He was 0 for 3 or 4 at Fresno State. 17-12 our score. Spider Smith now with 5 points. He passed the 1,000-point mark the other night. Back out. Horn again. And the defensive rebound by Daniel Santiago.
Horn's not bashful. I like that. I like that in the guy.
Corner. Smith tries the deuce. No good. And it's knocked out of bounds off Schornstein. And we will have a timeout on the floor. 10:29 to go, and the Lobos are up by 5. Have taken a 5-point lead up over the Falcons, 17-12.
Another assist by Spider. Nice dish to Royce. Made the defensive man commit enough to keep him from going in and dunking it, and gets it over to Royce. I like the fact that Royce didn't put it on the floor either. He puts it on the floor, someone's going to come up from behind and probably keep him from making the layup.
Saw the good numbers there for New Mexico this year. Field goal shooting excellent tonight. A little bit down. The rebounding number, Air Force has that advantage in the early going.
Yeah, they're up 12-10.
That's Nelson misses, gets his own rebound, runs into his own man, and Kenny Thomas, who just checked in, gets the loose ball all the way down to Spider Smith.
This is where a school like New Mexico needs to try and put a little cushion between them and the Falcons.
8 feet out or so. Smith, he'll give it back to Allman. Good move that time by Royce to break free, but it's blocked nicely, and the Falcons will bring it down. That's Brandon Parker, who is wearing number 3 tonight instead of his usual number 20. It's been misplaced. Charlie Nelson working against Schornstein. Had him beat, didn't take advantage of it. Pull-up jump shot by Freeman is good, and Freeman now with 4.
Freeman, that's more his range. He took a few shots early in the game, closer to the three-point line.
New Mexico going with Gibson, Olney, Thomas, Smith, and Schornstein. On the baseline, Spider reverse, and he's so good at that. 7 points for Spider. Moving closer up the ladder to Ron Becker on the all-time scoring list for New Mexico. Nelson misses. There's Kenny Thomas with a rebound with authority.
And he needs to have more of those. That's one of the things the coaches want. Every rebound should be his.
Let's see if he can get inside and score. He will not, but he'll go to the line for a second time. Credit that foul to Mike Freeman.
And another stat you'll want to look at as Kenny plays his freshman year in the WAC, if he's not getting at the free throw line, he's not taking the ball aggressively when he gets it on the block, because whenever he does that, he's going to get fouled. You just can't help it because he has such a good base down there.
And he is a good free throw shooter. 79% on the season. The lead is now 6. Tough goal for him the other night. 12 points, a good effort there, 11 rebounds. But 37 minutes, that's not easy for a freshman. Especially someone as big as Kenny is right now.
Yeah, and also who missed out on, the conditioning, not being able to practice for the team for quite some time.
And as many of you know, he was declared ineligible early on by the NCAA academically, and that is an ongoing battle. Good move inside, and Thomas bats it away. 15 blocks in the season for Kenny Thomas, the leading shot blocker for New Mexico.
Notice how he sneaks over here. Spider does a good job keeping his arms up, allows Kenny to get over there.
And while we're away, a holding foul on the Lobos.
New Mexico foul, 34 shots.
And they'll give it to Sean Simpson. Second personal on the senior from New Bern, North Carolina. Horn looking for help, gives it up. There's Reese around the horn, back to Horn. Forcing the turnover. More or less, actually, the Falcons forcing it themselves.
I don't know if you could hear Clayton Shields was giving the old woo-woo. He wanted the lob for the dunk.
Thomas posting up down low. Instead, Charles Smith will take the jumper on the baseline. Shields gets it inside, and they'll say it's out of bounds to New Mexico. And that was a lot of contact. Finally, the whistle out of bounds to the Lobos, and there is a timeout on the floor. Immediate timeout, and we'll take it. 7:40 to go. The Lobos up 21-14. The lineup, I don't know if we've seen this year, Nelson. Only at the true point. Charles Smith and Shields at the wings, and Simpson and Thomas inside.
There's some athletes out there.
Back out, Smith sets up nicely, little short. Simpson with the rebound, and they're going to say it was off Simpson's head going the other way. I don't think there's any question it was off his head, but I thought he was hammered before that.
Well, I didn't see any blood, but from the play before that, it looks like there was several fouls that were not called.
Reese around to Parker. Trying to do something against Olney, and now they'll bring it back out. Brad Gary with it. He's number 34 from Baltimore. Shot clock down to 11. This is where I think Horn would love to take over. Stolen away. Here comes Spider Smith. Difficult shot, and he makes it anyway. 9 points now for Spider Smith.
That was a tough shot.
Well, he had visions of the dunk, I'm sure, but he was interfered with as he went down the lane. Lobos lead it by 9. That's their biggest advantage.
Like New Mexico just with 2 turnovers.
Olney is cut off, and nice move inside by Horn. He's had a couple of almost spectacular shots for the Falcons.
Well, you mentioned that a couple of the refs had a hard time getting to the game because of the snow. Players ought to remember that. These refs are going to have to drive back in the snow, so this game, they're going to try and get it over as quick as they can.
It has been a fast-paced game. Thomas way down low. Jump hook a little bit short. He's been short tonight and a little bit upset with himself. New Mexico still in that man-to-man. There's Gary back out to Horn. Simpson doing a nice job defensively. Thomas keeps it alive. Back to Nelson. No, it's lost. It's a 2-on-4. Great behind the back move, but he can't finish it. However, New Mexico does, and I'm not sure who that was.
I think it was Smith. I heard the announcer. That's who they're going to give credit for, and I think that's who had it.
Charles Smith with his 10th and 11th points of the night. And with that, Smith moves past Ron Becker into the 17th spot all-time on the UNM scoring list. Whistle stops play. Whistle out front. And the officials point at Brandon Parker, and it is a 20-second timeout. So we'll keep it here. 25-16 our score. 5:10 to go first half. Glad you could be with us tonight on UPN 50.
Well, I think that's a good 20-second timeout by Coach Minton. We're going to get a seat before we talk about that. Nice around the back dribble. And watch Spider. Jumps from one side over. Actually, we should give 1 point to Spider and 1 to Clayton.
Did you like the timeout there by Reggie Minton?
Yes. I mean, New Mexico's got a 9-point lead, and usually 9 points isn't a lot. But look, that's when you look at the percentages of the scores right now, 9 points is a lot. He doesn't want it to get double digits into the second before they get to the second half.
Reggie Minton off the screen. Down low, drives by Gibson. Off the mark. Shields, New Mexico's leading rebounder, comes down with it. David looks a little bit better now after his stint on the bench. Cross court nicely to Shields. That'll be a little bit off the mark. We can tell that from here. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul, and that'll be on Shields.
One of the things that you have to try and avoid, though, is you start getting a nice lead against the Air Force, and this is where a lot of teams get in trouble, Mike, as they go, okay, now I want to get my points. I want to help my stats. You know, I'll start going for steals. I'll start doing things besides good fundamental basketball, and that's how the Falcons claw back into games.
And good players eventually learn those things take care of themselves, obviously. For Shields, it was his first personal foul. Here comes Olney now. Managed to regain control. Looks a little bit awkward. Gets it over to Gibson. Schornstein with the ball. Had 19 points last year in this game. Scoreless so far. Thomas, good position. Mexico still learning how to get the ball into him. Schornstein uncorks it. No. Falcons with the rebound. Last couple of times down the floor, as you mentioned, this doesn't seem quite as aggressive.
Well, they need to, when they see a hand in front of Kenny Thomas, they need to give him a second to get that hand out of the way and try and get the ball inside, because that's what's opening up the wide open three-point shots, is those inside outs.
And that's a turnover, Falcons. And we're going to take a timeout with 3:49 to go. 25-16, the Lobos lead it by 9. Up by 9, their biggest lead of the night. They have the ball. Not shooting all that well so far this evening.
Especially when you consider, Mike, how well the Lobos have shot all year long.
And you made an interesting point as we take a look at the turnovers there. Lobos doing a good job there, although this is not exactly New Mexico State or Fresno State defense. But you made a good point. The Lobos are taking good shots, but if they were a little more patient, they might be able to take some great shots.
Against Air Force, because you have better athletes, you'll get an average to good shot quickly. But you want to just wait a little longer until you get a great shot, because you will get them.
Yeah, that was an okay shot, but not the best. Good fake inside by Parker, a little bit short. Another offensive rebound, smacked out of there by Thomas.
That's Kenny's second block, and I don't believe he had a block against the Bulldogs.
He had one. That was the only block for New Mexico in the game. And I hope I remembered that correctly, because I know you'll tell me about it. Gibson double team, lost it out of bounds. Turnover number 3. Matt Horn returns to the lineup, and Parker will take a break. This is the first time in 8 seasons that Dave Bliss has not faced an Air Force team with either Raymond Dudley or Otis Jones at the shooting guard. And I know he's grateful for that.
Now, whenever you played, last 8 years against Air Force, you thought about running a diamond and one or a box and one, or at least you knew going into the game that we have to stop these guys because they're terrific scorers.
With it out front. Olney against him. Olney pushed him out a little bit, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul inside on Spider Smith. Mark Kilgore will go to the free throw line. 6'6" junior from Phoenix. And for Spider Smith, that's foul number 1.
I don't know how Mitten got that pass in. It looked like there were 8, 9 players all within 3 or 4 feet of the bucket.
Kilgore misses. Coming in, he was 7 of 8. And Dave Bliss wants a 20-second timeout. With 2:30 to go, what will Dave Bliss tell his Fab 5 there in the huddle?
I tell you, I think he wants to say, look, we want to get better shots. Let's also get the ball inside. Let's not be so willing just to take the three-point shot unless it's a wide open shot. You know, another thing is when you get the ball inside Mike and then kick it out, it makes the defense break down so that it's easier for the Lobos to get offensive rebounds as opposed to if you just take your first wide open three.
Lobos go with Schornstein and Thomas, Smith and Olney, along with Gibson.
Please report to the usher at the top of section L4.
Kilgore's second free throw is off the mark, but he manages to get it back. Minton trying to direct traffic a little bit. Over to Barrett. There's Reese with it. Gibson on him, and you can tell on defense, too, that the knee is really bothering Gibson. Shot clock down to 12. Inside, Kilgore, no. Tip up, no good. Olney with it. Had 5 rebounds against Fresno State. He'll try for his first bucket. A little bit short. Make that his second bucket, first three-pointer. And Royce loses control and knocks Reese out of bounds.
That'll be New Mexico's last freebie, Mike. From now on, the next foul will be 1-and-1 for the Falcons.
Air Force has committed only 2 team fouls here in the first half, and you wouldn't think that would be the case since the Lobos are considerably bigger.
Well, they've only been 2 called. We saw a couple.
That's Minton, who continues to struggle. That's a rebound Kenny Thomas should have had, no question about it. And he'll get that one. Dangerous outlet to Olney. Neither team has scored since 6:51, and that drought continues.
Well, that was a 1-on-4, basically. And, you know, that's the type of shot that, you know, when you hit it, you know, it's okay, everything's going good, but New Mexico's struggling right now. They need to expand that lead.
Well, they had a chance to really put themselves a lot of distance between them and the Falcons. And now the Falcons are the first to end that drought. That is Barrett. For Barrett, he has 5. And we reach the 1-minute mark left in the first half, 25-18. Kenny Thomas, baseline, fade away, and he'll hit it.
Kenny's got that shot, and against some teams, that's going to be a really good shot for him to take. But against the Air Force, I'd really like to see him get it on the block more, take it right at him. He was getting fouled earlier.
7 points for Thomas. Barrett again, taking their time. 29 seconds left on the game clock. Minton will go in, gives up the easy one. For one, I guess it's a little bit easier. That's Barrett with the hoop. 19 seconds left, 27-20. The Lobos will go for the final shot. This is something they've been very good at this year as the time winds down to end a half or the game.
Want to get the ball in the hands of Spider, have him make something happen, and if he gets in trouble, maybe give it to Kenny Thomas.
Has a chance, and he hits it. This has been something else this year for the Lobos as they wind down the half. Smith hits the three-pointer. He has 14, the leading scorer in the game. And now the lead is into double digits at 30-20. One more look at it as we go to a break. Charles Smith slicing and dicing here at the Academy. The Air Force Falcons trailing New Mexico 30-20. Here are the matchups for the second half. The same starting lineups, same lineups that we had to start the ball game tonight. And again, we'll keep an eye on Gibson and see how long he can go. And have you noticed any problem with Charles Smith and his right wrist?
You know, I haven't. He's got it taped up. It doesn't seem to be affecting his shot. I mean, the Lobos are shooting, 35%, but Spider, 6 of 12 the first half. We've seen him take it inside, and we've also seen him hit the long bomb.
Another injury that Dave Bliss has been a bit concerned about is Clayton Shields. He's had a thigh bruise, and that's been kind of a nagging thing.
I tell you, whenever you go to Colorado Springs, it's cold outside, it's snowing, the wind is blowing. Injuries like that seem to hurt a little more. Do you agree, or you're just leaving? You're just leaving me on that one.
I know I have more aches and pains today, that's for sure. And the official's about ready to play. Blow the whistle, and here we go. Reggie Minton. He's finally a senior, son of the coach, wearing number 22. A lot of contact as 3 Falcons run into each other. Reese throws it. Falcons get it back. In and out, no good that time by Freeman. Just underway in the second half. Glad you could be with us on UPN 50, our very first season of Lobo basketball. The brand new Albuquerque station, and hoping to be around the state before too long. I want to thank those and welcome those watching on cable in Bernalillo tonight. Thomas's good position inside against Freeman, but they won't go into it. A little bit slow start here. Shot clock down to 5. Smith will take it. A little bit short, quite a bit short. And now here come the Falcons.
Looked like quite a bit of standing around to you, Mike, on offense.
Minton wide open, gives it up. Baseline Nelson, no good. Shields with his 6th rebound. Gibson tries to take it the distance, gives it up. Smith will try again, and he drains it. 16 points for Charles Spider Smith. And now Spider has moved up the ladder again, passing Rob Leffel and Ira Harge on the all-time ladder. 17, 16, 15, now 14 on the all-time scoring list at New Mexico. Nice outlet to Shields. Let's see if Clayton does anything with it. Dribbling, and looked like he walked, missed the shot. He'll get it back. Difficult position, and I don't know how he got it out of there.
Well, 1-on-4, probably not a wise thing to take it in there.
32-20 our score. Smith tries it again. No. Inside to Thomas. Off the glass, no good. Simpson offensive rebound. Looking for help, and we're going to have a 3-second violation on Sean Simpson. And this game has started very ragged, very laid back, and Kenny Thomas will sit down. Daniel Santiago in.
I like Coach Bliss taking Kenny out. He's over there. He's working with him. He's telling him, look, we're going to get you back in there. What we want you to do is A, B, and C, or whatever it is. I mean, that's
rebound, rebound, and rebound.
Jump hook,
The Air Force has kind of been struggling a little bit here, too. Jump shot. Freeman, no good.
Well, there's a limit to how good you can look when you're shooting at, 26, 27%.
Fields wants it down low. Double team. He'll take it anyway. Reverse layup, no good. May have been partially blocked. Here comes the Falcons. Here come the Falcons. Back to Minton. Sets up. No. Corner Reese. That'll be short. Fields will get another rebound. And it throws the elbow. It misses Nelson. And Charles Nelson looked like he had a little bit of a half Nelson on Clayton Shields that time.
I don't know why the crowd doesn't chant air elbow whenever you do one of those. Think about that.
I will think about it. Not for very long. Lobo fans here chanting a little bit. There are, as usual, quite a few Lobo fans making the journey from northern New Mexico. Smith between the legs, pulls up, short again. And they'll say it was off Reese.
Like I said, it's snowing outside. These refs are going to have to travel in the snow.
I think that snow and cold outside is affecting the field goal shooting inside. That's what I want to know. Thomas back in. And Santiago, after about a minute in the game, will take a break. Back to Smith. Thomas posting up. Let's see if he takes Dave's advice. This time he lost it.
Well, he was taking it to the hole. He just that one dribble, he wasn't able to get both hands on it.
Simpson doing a nice job cutting off Minton on the baseline. Freeman, oh, nice move, and he'll have it blocked, but the foul, they'll say it's on Simpson.
But what's this?
Taking that one.
He's going to hook. He's going to hook Kinney right there. Use that elbow to get around him. And there's, there may have been some contact, but it wasn't Sean, I don't think.
John Simpson with his third foul.
See that elbow once again?
There's a better angle on it.
Yeah. Freeman doing a good job.
And his free throw is good, and that's the first point. Almost 4 minutes into the second half. First point for the Falcons.
Falcons were 2 of 5 from the free throw line the first half.
Nelson will sit down. Anthony Barrett replaces him. Both free throws are good. And Barrett with 8 points. The lead has been cut to 10.
Air Force has black and white Converse shoes with the same design on them as the Lobos, and they're red and white, basically.
Thomas gets it back. Misses the short one. Reese jumps back and hits it off the window. It's an 8-point game, and for Reese, his third point of the night. It was about this point last year I said if you let Air Force hang around, they're going to cause some problems. Thomas, strong move inside.
That's the move. I'm shaking my head. Coach Bliss, he's nodding. That's what we want every time.
34-24, Thomas with 9. Reese drives by Smith, and Reese scores his second straight bucket. 15-12 to go. 34-26 New Mexico. Thomas is being double teamed now. He's taking it to the hole every time. This time he has no choice but to get it back out. Shot clock down to 13 seconds. Smith will fake. Back to Gibson. Penetration to Thomas. Takes his time and scores. He was really hammered and somehow manages to get it in.
That's one of the advantages of just being so strong. I mean, Kenny's got really broad shoulders, and he gets beat up quite a bit in there, and he's still able to get a shot off.
Thomas in double figures now for the 10th straight game.
Nice dish here. David finds Kenny wide open. Look at those strong arms. I mean, he goes up there and he's getting hit all over the place.
It really is. Kenny getting some advice from Simpson about who to guard, I think, down the line.
I thought Kenny was doing a little coaching.
And he gets the roll. We'll take a timeout. Kavasi Franklin has checked in for New Mexico. 14:42 to go, and the Lobo lead is 11. Substitutions for Dave Bliss and the Lobos, as New Mexico leads it by 11. Kavasi Franklin is in for the first time tonight, and Greg Schornstein has returned. Look at Reggie Minton in his 12th season as head coach of the Air Force Falcons. Three-point shooting, nothing much to brag about on either team, but the Falcons have been shut out so far tonight.
If it was a horse game, it would take all night to play.
Reese trying for his third straight hoop. No good. We'll have a whistle and a foul. And I believe it's going to be on Kavasi Franklin. I didn't know Kavasi could push somebody that far.
His first, team second.
He pushes a couple. Because what's Shorty? He comes flying out of here, too.
That's Horn right at our cameraman. And while we were away, Michael Freeman scored to cut into the lead down to 9 points. Let's see what Kavasi Franklin does during his stint here. Hasn't done much offensively this season, but he hasn't played a lot of minutes either. Bad pass inside by Olney.
The Lobos' 6th turnover, Mike.
Freeman again. Barrett lost it. And somehow Reese gets it back.
And that's what Air Force does, Mike. They just stay in there and keep clawing. I mean, they look up. Now it's just a 7-point game.
Was 12, now 7 with 13:33 to go. Bad pass again by Olney. Reese picks it off. There's Horn, and now they have a chance to cut it down even more. David Gibson gets ready to check in.
I bet David was hoping for a little different result while he was on the bench.
I think so, too. A lot of dribbling right now by the Falcons. Reese will pull up, misses again, and we're going to have it tipped and a foul inside on Air Force, and that'll be Barrett. For Barrett, number 1. Royce Olney will take a break, and so will Kavasi Franklin. So the starting guards for New Mexico have checked back in.
You see the swat by Barrett in the hip to get the foul called on him.
Schoenstein out front. Thomas, good position down low. Well underneath. Can he get out of there? Gibson hustles it down. Nice job by David Gibson. Cross court, dangerous pass. Smith will pop it. No, and it's tipped in by Shields. I'm not sure if Smith passed it, shot it, or thought he was fouled.
He was shooting it, and he thought he was fouled. I'll give you 2 of your 3 choices.
Smith goes for the steal. Reese gets it back. 12:22 to go and counting. 39-30 New Mexico. And Horn trying to get something going, calling out the signals for the Falcons. Drives in, has it blocked by Kenny Thomas. And Smith loses it at midcourt. Here comes Air Force. Look to be a double dribble. Horn. And there's Thomas with it. Ragged play for both teams.
That was not a very pretty sequence.
It wasn't. So the Lobos hang on to that 9-point edge. Thomas, double team, back to Shields, tries the three-pointer and hits it. Clayton Shields with the tray, his first bucket of the second half, and he has 8 points. We're going to get a timeout. Air Force will take a 20-second timeout.
See the shot you get on an inside out. Whenever you can get the ball inside, it really affects the defense. And you can get set up, take all your time, get your feet underneath you. You have a better shot of making that 3.
11:27 to go. So look at both huddles for the teams. Also tonight in the Western Athletic Conference, San Diego State is leading Wyoming in San Diego. This is in the first half, 25-20. And later tonight, Hawaii entertains Colorado State. And I was surprised how poorly Colorado State played the other night at San Diego State. Well, let's take a look at this play by Smith. And there's no question he was fouled, but lucky break for New Mexico with Shields waiting there.
And see, if he's smart, he would immediately, pointed over there, good pass, and that way saved him a shot.
And there's an interesting number on the three-point story for the Lobos. In fact, in Dave Blitz's 8 years at New Mexico, they've only had one game in which they did not make a three-pointer, right against Colorado State. Hanging and having it blocked again by Thomas, Mark Kilgore. Almost picking that up a little bit defensively. Kenny Thomas again. Too strong, and Shields will be charged with a push.
Kenny's not making those little soft jump hooks off the glass. I think he's probably used to someone a little taller guarding him or something, but he's just a little out of sync.
Timeout on the floor for Shields at his second foul. We'll take a break with the Lobos up by 12. And some Lobo fans there in the background. Happy the Lobos are up 42-30. 11 minutes to go and counting now. Mike Powers and Nelson France with you on a cold night in Colorado Springs. Glad to be with you on UPN 50. Lobos 0-1 in the Western Athletic Conference after that tough loss at Fresno State 2 nights ago. Lewis Stewart is checked back in. He wears number 15. Also in Brandon Parker. A couple of substitutions for the Air Force Falcons. This is Stewart working against Olney over the top. And blocked by Shields. Fight for it. And they'll say it is off Gibson for New Mexico.
You're talking about the Lobos making three-point shots. Interesting thing in the Fresno State game, the only three-point field goals the Lobos made came from the 4 spot. Clayton Shields, Greg Schornstein.
Highly unusual. For most teams anyway. I guess not so much for New Mexico with those two players. Working it around, looking inside. That's Freeman. Spinning against Thomas. Gets it back. Still loose, and we're going to have a jump ball possession arrow to New Mexico. By the way, Kenny Thomas has been affecting a lot of shots. Officially, he has 3 blocks tonight. His best effort since 4 at Arizona State.
He also affected a couple of bodies that time. He knocked over a couple of Air Force players in the paint.
Gibson skipping down with that tendonitis in his knee. Olney looks inside. Open, Schornstein in the corner. Covered up quickly. Working a little clock now. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Shields will try from that same spot. Not that time. Bringing it out of the pack quickly, Brandon Parker. Reggie Minton. Now it's Freeman's turn. Somehow they maintain possession. Boy, a lot of passes here, and a lot of them really not doing anything for Air Force. And we're going to have a blocking foul on New Mexico. It'll be on Royce Olney. But despite that, the Lobo lead remains, not out of reach at 12.
Back in for the Falcons, 24, Matt Horn.
That's right, they try and lull you into, being overconfident. Then they, like I said, they haven't hit a 3 yet. If they hit a couple of 3s, heat it up.
Off the inbounds play, and there's the 3-pointer you're talking about. That's Horn. Horn out of Warsaw, Indiana, 6'1", 185-pound junior. Didn't play on the varsity last year. It's now a 9-point game. I think the Lobos have definitely played better tonight, and it's not a brilliant statement to say it, but with Charles Smith in the lineup, they've been seem more in sync offensively. Here's Gibson, a little bit of an opening, and he scores.
He doesn't need much more than a little bit of an opening. I mean, David is really, we've said it several times, but he's gotten better at taking it all the way.
Gibson with 4, and we're going to have a hold on Olney. David had 16 points at Fresno State, his 3rd consecutive game in double figures, so he is starting to come on offensively.
His 3rd, team's 5th.
Well, after he finally hit his first 3, his shooting from the outside picked up.
It was in the Lobo Invitational. 44-33 our score. It's Charlie Nelson with it, working it around. Falcons being patient again. Here's Minton, very difficult shot, and misses everything. And as we mentioned, he has struggled mightily this season from the field. In fact, tonight Minton has been shut out.
And he's taken a lot of bad shots too, Mike.
Yeah.
That was bad. They might not even give him a shot attempt on that one.
You can only hope, right? Let's see what Smith does against Freeman. Nothing that time.
Kenny Thomas is wanting the basketball.
He's really being banged around in there. A couple of guys on him. That's amazing that a freshman gets that much attention. It really is. Charles Smith pulls up and hits. 18 points now for Spider Smith. Averages just under 21 a game.
The hardest thing, Mike, is whenever you're getting that much attention, it's easy to say, okay, I'm not going to get open, or they're not going to throw it to me. I'll just quit moving around. When you do that, it really affects your player's offense.
Freeman came back and made the move against Thomas. I'm surprised he's able to do that, to be honest. Freeman in double figures, just shy of his average. This is an Air Force team that took UTEP down to the wire the other night. Ended up being a 5-point game in the end. Thomas inside to Olney. Back out to Smith and in the lane way too long.
Well, that's one of those things where Kenny Thomas in the paint, passing it to Royce in the paint, you don't want to do it.
Doesn't make any sense. 7:05 to go, 11-point New Mexico lead.
It was Converse shoes for sure, right?
Yeah, we knew that. Under 7 minutes to go. Lobos, you see, with 9 turnovers. Clayton Shields playing the 4 spot right now. Shot clock at 15. Down to 10.
Get it in Spider's hands.
That's who you want to have it. See if he takes it the distance, pulls up at the free throw line. Bit short. Thomas offensive rebound. And finally we'll have a whistle, but that is just the 3rd team foul on the Air Force Falcons this half.
I'm not sure. I think that's Kenny Thomas's first offensive rebound.
His first. Team's 3rd.
Dave Bliss had been perfect in this arena, or actually against Air Force all the way. 14-0 until that buzzer beater last year. Get a fresh shot clock, of course, with the foul. Boy, a lot of contact inside. Freeman, the sophomore, against Thomas, the freshman. And out front, David Gibson walked. Took a step with 5:58 to go.
Well, this is, crunch time. I mean, the Falcons, this is where they're going to try make a move here in the next 2 or 3 minutes, try and cut the lead just a little. New Mexico needs to be alert, continue to be aggressive on the glass.
Stewart looking for someone inside. Freeman way out front. Now they'll get inside to Nelson. Over the top of Shields, in and out. Offensive rebound, Freeman, and the stick back. 12 points now for Michael Freeman.
Well, Kenny had run down to try and block the shot, left his man unboxed out. Is that what?
Thomas again goes strong. Can't get it, but he'll go to the line. Substitution now for the Falcons. Anthony Barrett comes in. Let's take a look at Coach Bliss the previous time down the floor.
Tonight for the Lobos, Kenny Thomas.
Not a happy camper.
But he didn't throw a chair like his former boss, anyway. Well short by Kenny Thomas.
Kenny may be getting tired. I mean, that's when he misses a free throw, he usually doesn't miss them that short.
Right. Second try is short again, but he gets the hop. 13 points for Thomas. He will sit, and Daniel Santiago will come in for him. The instructions from Coach Bliss, I'm not sure if the microphones picked them up. Everybody rebound.
He told Daniel Santiago to get big. Now, obviously, he's 7 foot plus. What he wants to use his arms. Get him up, spread him out.
Horn working back against Gibson, forces it up, and he hits it. He just cut to 8 with 5 minutes to go. Horn now with 9, he averages 13. Is it dangerous for the Lobos to start thinking about working clock at this point? Gibson, no good, it's short. Bliss wanted a foul, didn't get it.
Well, what you want to do, it's all right to work a little clock so long as you continue to be aggressive on defense. I mean, on offense. If you're not, you can't stop scoring, Mike, because then they'll catch up.
Well, they're going to call a foul on Daniel Santiago, and Reese will go to the free throw line for 2, and I thought it was a clean play that time by Santiago.
Well, the roads must have cleared up a little outside.
72% free throw shooter at the line. Now a 7-point game. That's the closest Air Force has been in the second half. And I know Daniel Santiago's a little bit frustrated about his playing time right now. What do you tell him?
Well, he just has to continue to work hard. I mean, he's going to get minutes. Whenever he goes in there, he wants to make positive things happen. I mean, that time he had a call go against him, and Coach Bliss, thought he ought to get Kenny back in the game. Another thing is, the more Kenny plays, the more comfortable Dave Bliss, I think, gets having Kenny out there. The Lobos were undefeated until the last game, and that's just tough for Daniel to get accustomed to that. He's just going to have to break through.
Air Force on an 8-1 run right now, and they pulled to within 6 at 47-41. New Mexico will take this weekend off. They'll be back in the pit Monday night to face San Diego State, and then they'll host Hawaii on Wednesday night, and it's a wacky whack schedule to start the season.
Yeah, they're trying to get in a lot of these games during the Christmas break.
They crank the music off, and now the Lobos play it in. Gibson against Horn. Back to Kenny Thomas, spinning inside, and he's fouled, and he'll go back to the line.
I think, Coach Bliss, he's saying, why doesn't he do that every time? And you have to remember, I mean, Kenny, he's just a freshman, and he'll get better. But whenever he does do that move, I mean, chalk up points.
Charlie Nelson, he replaces Freeman.
For Freeman, number 4, personal fouls. Charlie Nelson returns for him. As a team this season at the free throw line, the Lobos shooting 70%. Second try is good.
Well, Kenny, he's 6 of 8 tonight, so that's 75%. You just always remember the ones at the end of the game.
Right. Approaching 4 minutes left to go in regulation. Horn, that's an easy jump shot for him. Lobos have been making one free throw and giving up a field goal, and that's why it's now a 5-point game. And the Lobos are in a position they absolutely did not want to be in.
Well, if they can, you can bet they want to get the ball inside to Kenny Thomas first. But they're fronting him, they're siding him. They've got at least 2 guys with arms up.
Shot clock down to 7. Shields looking for help. I don't know if he knows it's time winding down. Doesn't matter. He throws it away.
And Kenny Thomas got away with a foul. He just leveled Reese.
48-43. Falcons look to spoil New Mexico again. Upset them here at the Academy. Wide open. Barrett does not bury it, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the Falcons. Lewis Stewart.
New Mexico just have to take the ball out, though. That's the 16th foul against the Falcons.
Timeout on the floor. 3:04 to go. The lead is only 5.
For the cheap seat shot, Michael Archuleta is going to take his chance of winning a
48-43 our score. New Mexico leads. The Lobos will play it in with 3:04 to go. And ice cold tonight in Colorado Springs. 36% for the Lobos, 32% for Air Force.
It'll be interesting to see if Air Force tries to put a few selected Lobos at the foul line right now. And I saw Reggie Minton picking up David Gibson, and I thought he might just go ahead and foul him.
Both teams with 16 fouls. Only looking for help. Takes a dribble and still looks inside for Kenny Thomas. Shot clock down to 9. A lot of standing around right now. In the corner, Olney puts it up and hits it. It's a 3.
Inside out. I mean, the Lobos then get the ball inside. Things will open up.
And now Air Force will call a timeout. And Olney hits a big 3-pointer after being cold tonight. We'll be right back with the Lobos up by 8. Almost as important as the time on the clock with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. New Mexico not out of the woods yet.
No, and look for Air Force. They may start looking to take a three if they can. Horn's back in the game. He was on the bench that short segment. And we know Reggie Minton, he's willing to shoot the three.
Oh, good steal by Gibson. Good steal by David Gibson, who almost lost it. Back to Gibson, across the timeline.
New Mexico can work clock now, Mike.
Let's see if they do. No, Olney pulls up, hits the three-pointer. And the Lobos now in great shape. And Royce has hit some big threes this year in key situations.
Well, there's back that, 6 points. The Lobos hadn't scored that in quite some time on the clock.
Only with 8 on the night. Less than 2 minutes to go. The lead is up to 11.
This is what Air Force can't do. They can't afford to use clock themselves.
Gibson gets his second steal, still loose. And David was calling for a timeout, but I don't think he had possession. The possession arrow is to Air Force. Nice job by David Gibson.
And I don't know whether New Mexico ever got control of the ball. If New Mexico never got control of the ball, the shot clock should not have gone back to 35 seconds.
Good point. Timeout, New Mexico. 1:27 to go. 54-43, and the Lobos now have a chance to salt this one away for their 11th victory of the season.
That's a new rule change from 2 years ago, I think, is if you have a jump ball and the ball goes to the team that just had possession prior to the jump ball, the shot clock stays and you do not get a fresh 35-second clock. The reason they changed that rule, players were using it to their advantage. Let's see this again. See, no one's had possession yet.
Right.
So if New Mexico never got possession, there should only be, 6 seconds or so on the shot clock because it was winding down when Reggie got it. The reason they changed it was teams during the clutch, shot clock would be winding down. They'd have the ball and they'd let the other team tie them up, knowing that the possession arrow was pointing their way, and then they'd get a fresh 35-second clock.
It's very astute. It's why we keep you around. We know it's not for the directions that you give when we're on the road in a foreign city.
Mike broke the record today, 12 U-turns in about a 7-minute period. But he did, eventually we did get where we were going.
We did get there.
Which was to a gas station to ask for directions.
This is the big city, UNM now 6 of 16 on 3-point field goal tries, so that field goal percentage has improved. Stewart trying to get it in. Off Freeman, lost sight of it, out of bounds. So a couple of key unforced turnovers by Reggie Minton's crew, and New Mexico well in command now. No one has shot a free throw yet in this game except Kenny Thomas for New Mexico. And my hunch is that we'll get to see someone else shoot a free here before we're done.
Well, I doubt they're going to be able to get the ball into Kenny and let him hold it till he gets fouled. But if you can get the ball into Royce's hands, that'd be a good choice.
Gibson hangs on to it. Back over to Smith. Dangerous pass. Stolen away. Nelson with it. Pumps once. In and out. And Kenny Thomas brings down Reese out of bounds. It is off Air Force. David Gibson batted it right into the legs of Charles Nelson.
Well, eventually they did try and get the ball to Kenny Thomas.
Eventually they did. For the wrong reasons, but there's Olney, and he is fouled. And let's see how Royce does now. He was missed a couple of free throws, but he was 1 of 4 at Fresno State, or make that 1 of 3 at Fresno State after making 20 in a row to start the season.
And notice he doesn't dribble. I mean, he's the only player I think that I'm familiar with right now who just steps up there and shoots it.
And he gets the first one to go through.
And I'll tell you, if he wasn't shooting very well, I mean, the coaches would probably say, look, you need to dribble it stuff.
This is his second one. 55-43 the score. Nico Reese stolen away, but no.
Clayton's mad. He was going to demonstrate his jumping ability, and
I thought he was going to do what the Packers do after a touchdown, jump into the stand.
You make the call. Here we go.
You make the call. I'm not going to make it. You make it. They made it.
He had already thought of the dunk that he was going to do at the other end.
That's why it's so painful. By the way, Royce Olney has scored the last 7 points for New Mexico.
So that's the difference. I mean, whenever I played, I never wanted to get those breakaways because it was always embarrassing.
You're telling me today about a block that Minnesota's Trent Tucker had against you.
Yes, I laid it up thinking I had the layup made, and he took a fist and knocked it into the glass, and it landed at half court. But thanks for bringing that up.
You got to go up and dunk it, Nelson. Come on. You're always telling me that's what you used to do. And we're going to have a whistle before the ball is even inbounded. A hold on Brandon Parker, so Royce will try to regain his stroke at the other end at the free throw line.
Team 8. Back in for the Falcons, 24-42.
1,144 fans here tonight at the Academy.
Royce Olney to the Lobos to shoot one.
Coach Bliss giving a little instruction there thanks to his little blackboard. And we're waiting for Clayton to get back in there to line up at the line. That was a better looking stroke that time by Royce Olney. He hasn't been there that often this season. I think sometimes you've gone a game or two without getting at the line. It takes a while to get back in the groove. Only off the bench in double figures now with 11. 9 of those in the second half. Horn from way outside. Thomas with the rebound, and he'll go back to the line.
This is one of those games a lot closer than what the final score was going to be. I mean, Air Force had cut it to 5 in the second half. That's whenever Royce stepped it up and hit some threes. That's what you have to do when you come here. I mean, very few times whenever you actually watch a game here in Air Force are they literally blown out. Sometimes the score will be, 15-17, but they're in the game most of the time.
For Kenny Thomas tonight, 15 points. Kind of been a little quiet, but continues to do the job inside. And now it's 59-44, the biggest lead for New Mexico tonight, with 50 seconds left. Missed the block, Thomas. The putback by 3 minutes. And Air Force quickly calls a timeout.
Timeout, Air Force.
59-46, 42 seconds left.
Well, New Mexico now, they're going to get to shoot 2 free throws, Mike. I mean, that's one of the things. Whenever you're having to foul at the end of the game, you want to try and catch up before you're having to give 2 free throws when it's still in the 1-and-1 situation, because there's not very many college players who are going to step up there and miss 2 free throws.
Pretty good night at the free throw line for New Mexico. We talked about the Lobos team percentage earlier at 70%. That's not bad, I guess. Maybe you'd hope for a little bit higher than that, but I think that's the best the Lobos have been in a couple of years.
And actually, when you look at it, they can put 5 guys out there that are pretty clutch free throw shooters. I mean, Kenny, a lot of big guys don't shoot well. Clayton has a nice stroke. Spider, his percentage is a little down, but he's quite a good free throw.
Let's see if we can hear Coach Bliss.
Right back here. How many timeouts do I have left? I've got 2 left, okay?
You know, he grabbed me last time.
You're going to get fouled right away.
See when he grabbed me last time?
No, I'm not sure if you can hear Coach Bliss. All I could hear was the Ramones playing away.
A reminder that Marty Gasser and Kirk Falcons return here to Cote Arena next Wednesday.
I think that's what it was. Kermit, our director, he just wanted to hear the song.
That's women's basketball next Wednesday.
59-46, again, that's our score. Royce with it to avoid the double team, and does so far behind the back. He's on the sideline. Coach Bliss yells that he got pushed out.
Well, right now, Reggie Mitten doing a little football coaching. He has his offensive lineup he brings in, and they just come on the court, and then he had his defensive group that he had in the game.
Taking way too much time to get the shot off. Reese goes in and hits it nicely out of the glass. Now Air Force calls timeout again. And the lead is down to 11.
And he's going to put his defensive unit back in. You know, this is, in New Mexico, they've got this game under control, but they still can learn from this. I mean, this is that full court pressure. They need to take advantage of this time and get better at handling the ball, making smart decisions.
Reggie Mitten in the huddle for the Falcons.
So White, hey, he gets to hear we switch, we take him right across, all right? I can say, yeah.
At the other end, Dave Bliss.
Okay, now I got Clayton right there, I got Charles, I got David, and I got Roy. Come on, guys, damn! Okay, now, get it in, get out of his way. Okay, I don't know who's slipped behind him. Everybody get out of his way. One guy did play over here, Charles play over there.
Well, there you have it.
Get out of his way. I mean, and that's a good thing. I mean, whenever a team is not running a zone trap and it's just man-to-man looking to double, it's a lot tougher for them to double team whenever you've cleared out a side or an area from the ball handler.
I think they're waiting for the music to get turned down here. And here we go. To Shields, who was fouled immediately. And Clayton will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Clayton Shields with 10 rebounds this evening in double figures there. And that this will be his first free throw attempts of the night.
Teams 10. Back in for the Falcons, 24 Matt Moore, 22 Michael Privet.
The other thing the Lobos can work on is their defense. You can't let a team just come down and get an easy shot. You can't foul them, but you have to learn how to make them waste a little time. The Lobos did a good job of that a little earlier, but as the last two possessions, the Air Force was able to get good shots off without wasting much time.
Second try for Shields is good, and he has 10 points, so he has a double-double tonight. 20 seconds left. Horn will try it inside. It's blocked by Thomas.
I think they're going to call maybe an offensive foul here.
Well, that's what I thought, but the way he motioned, but apparently not. That will be on Kenny Thomas.
His first.
Number 1 on Kenny Thomas.
That's the first one they've called on Kenny. He played bowling ball a couple of times. And
Timeout Lobos.
see what happens here. Kenny comes over, he's sliding.
That looked like a pretty good block. I mean, Horn made some contact with his left arm, but clearly it didn't have anything to do with the shot. However, the Lobos still well in command with 17 seconds left, up by 12. This is the first year that Dave Bliss has had captains while at New Mexico. He appointed a couple of captains, Charles Smith and Sean Simpson, and the players voted David Gibson as a captain. So they have tri-captains this year, and I know David Gibson has taken that role very seriously.
The coach thought it would help, you know, with leadership on this team because he has guys that he thinks are just a little too quiet. He wants them to pick it up, and they like to lead, you know, by example, but he wants them to get out there and get on guys, you know, kind of be coach on the floor.
A couple of program notes on UPN 50 this Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Join us for the Dave Bliss Show. We'll talk about this WAC road trip to get things started. And then we will be back with you from Laramie, Wyoming on January 13th. That's a 9 p.m. game, and we hope you will join us for that.
Matt Horn at the line for the Falcons.
Horn to shoot 2. First one is a dud in front of the rim.
I don't think that ever got above 10 feet.
Second try looks better, and it's good. And here comes the defensive unit in. And did Gary Colson ever do that with you? You were Mr. Offense, and then you sat down on the defensive end?
I sure could have. I mean,
And Shields is fouled immediately by Nelson.
that was a good pass by Charles Smith, realizing who you're throwing it to. Just put it up there a little higher because Clayton was not very open. He kind of just put it up there for Jerry Rice, and he went up and got it. Only because Deion Sanders from my Cowboys wasn't there.
Yeah, Deion's been worth every dime. Clayton struggles at the line. Clayton shooting only 65% at the free throw line this season. Now, we had him with more than that 9 points. We'll have to double check and see what exactly Clayton Shields has, but he is in double figures now for sure. Reese puts it up off the side. Royce Olney with the rebound, and he gets out of trouble somehow as the refs swallow the whistle right here, and this should do it. 2 seconds, 1, and the Lobos come away with the victory against the Air Force Falcons here in Colorado Springs. Wasn't pretty, was not one of those things of beauty, but it is a W, 61-49, and the 25th ranked New Mexico Lobos get their first WAC win of the season, going to 1-1 and improve overall to 10-1. We'll take a break and wrap this up from Colorado Springs after this timeout.